drugs. The DOC says Chad Burns died after a fight at the Dick Connor Correctional Center in Hominy, and vacation is canceled at all prisons until further notice. A man is arrested after a chase with Oklahoma Highway Patrol with a bizarre ending. Troopers say the suspect sped off after someone tried to pull him over near North Peoria. After the chase, that suspect parked at the Seminole Hills apartment complex, and that's when troopers say the man ran into an acquaintance's apartment and cut his hair.
I went up in the bathroom and saw the hair in the floor to confirm that the guy that came out that looked a little bit different was in fact the guy that went in.
We are told the suspect, Robert Nelson, was a fugitive from Missouri.
New developments tonight in the push to reduce Tulsa's flood risk. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers just released a plan to update the county's old levee system. They're rushing the project to try and reduce the risk for people who live close by. And as they tell 2 Works for You's Sierra Pizarro, it can't happen fast enough. Sierra?
Karen, we spoke with people living and working near the levee system. They say they'll continue to feel uneasy until upgrades are made, and that means waiting.
It's hard to forget what parts of Tulsa looked like just a few months ago. Many, like Austin Swarthout, loaded up and got out.
Because I didn't want to put customers in harm's way, I didn't want to put my employees in harm's way, and I sure didn't want to lose all the product in the store. So we moved out and we were gone for 7 days.
His and so many other stories bring us back here. A 75-year-old levee system that needs a lot of work.
And all the components that we're relying on for public safety are that old. So we need to update it and bring it up to today's standards to get a better degree of safety. That's our goal.
Swarthout worries if the levees will hold next time around.
It held up for us right here pretty well, but I read a lot about how old it is and it needs to be redone. I know that they've been trying to get funding for it for a long time. So I've been hoping that they could get the funding they needed to get this replaced so we don't have this problem again. I mean, 7 days without any revenue from this store, it kind of hurt.
We're closer to the end result right now with shovels in the ground than we've ever been. So it's a work in progress and everyone's on board, so it's a good thing.
A 3-year study by the Army Corps of Engineers cut down to 2 because of urgency. They're 9 months in right now. The plan to update Tulsa's levee system calls for more earth on the backside of the levees, rebuilding pump stations, and 2 new detention ponds. The work is expected to start in 2021. It should be finished by 2024.
Now a comment period is open. You can head over to our website, kjrh.com, to review the full plan and to send your feedback to the Army Corps of Engineers. Live in Tulsa, Sierra Pizarro, 2 Works for You.
Thank you, Sierra. Now, nonprofit groups helping people clean up after those disastrous floods and storms in the spring can get some help. Organizations in 18 counties in Oklahoma can now apply for a grant from the Disaster Relief Fund of Eastern Oklahoma. You can send in applications until November 1st, and the grants will go out December 31st.
A step to improve emergency medical service programs across the state. The Oklahoma State Department of Health distributed more than $2.1 million to 20 different EMS programs. Among those receiving money is the City of Pawnee Ambulance Service. The others are in central Oklahoma and near the Kansas and Texas borders.
In tonight's Project Safe Schools, 2 students arrested, accused of making hoax threats on social media to the Yukon School District. The district of nearly 9,000 students canceled classes today. The number of recent threats has some wondering, why are these threats being made? New at 6, 2 Works for You's Katie Kelleher shows us the warning signs that parents need to look out for.
In some respects, the children don't realize the severity of what they're doing.
Professor and author Kathleen Heidi has studied juvenile homicide offenders for decades. She says because children are still undergoing brain development, they can be more impulsive than adults.
When they're in a certain mind state, it's very hard for them, much more so than for an adult, to stop, think, deliberate, and change their course of action.
Heidi says there are signs parents can look for. Things like depression, isolation, and avoiding social interactions to play violent video games.
Some are just indicating it's a cry for help. They're very unhappy, they're angry, and they're signaling that.
She says even threats from young children need to be taken seriously. Officials ask that if anyone hears a threat, report it immediately. Karen?
Well, Katie, what's the best way to do that?
You know, many districts have their own reporting systems. Some even have apps. Anyone can report a threat anonymously through the Oklahoma School Security Tip Line. We've posted the link for you on our website, kjrh.com. Karen, back to you.
Thank you, Katie. Two Works for You is committed to tackling issues such as mental health and cyberbullying. If you have an idea, just give us a call at the number that's on your screen right now or send an email, projectsafeschools@kjrh.com.
School districts across Green Country are competing for bus drivers. This fall, Claremore increased wages to $15 an hour, telling Two Works for You that these days it's a challenge to keep talented employees. Drivers say that they're more likely to return because of the raise, and they hope this will tackle issues like delays. We're going to have more on those efforts tonight at 10, and you can even find out about some hiring information on our website at kjrh.com. Happening now as Tulsa Public Schools looks to cut $20 million from their budget. They're asking parents and teachers to determine what to keep and then, of course, what to cut.
And right now, the first of 11 meetings is underway to get some feedback, this one at Webster High School. Each meeting is going to be held at a different high school across Tulsa. We'll show you what people are suggesting tonight at 10.
Now, your Two Works for You first forecast, brought to you by Route 66 Chevrolet and Nissan of Tulsa.
Well, a tropical disturbance quickly became a tropical storm down the Gulf. It's already made landfall, now moving across southern portions of Texas. As we look at our HD satellite, this storm is going to continue to track to the north towards northeast Oklahoma. It's going to arrive by the end of the work week, so it will take a couple of days. But the next couple of days are going to be quite hot, with temperatures still in the 90s. Then the rain moves in, and that brings milder weather. But for how long? Details with your 10-day in less than 10 minutes.
Mike, thank you. A church determined to continue helping those in their community. Coming up next at 6, we're going to show you how they are opening their doors again after a fire.
And the Gathering Place announcing a brand new festival. We'll show you the taste testing you'll be able to do at the nationally recognized park.
On average, the Memorial Drive Church of Christ serves 60 families a week out of its food pantry, but that was put on hold in July when the church went up in flames.
New at 6, Two Works for You's Lorraine Calendar shares how they're opening their doors again to help those in need.
Thank you. I'll get applesauce. Wow, this is a lot of stuff.
Jane Kaler visits the Memorial Drive Church of Christ food pantry about once a month.
I'm disabled and on a very limited income, and if it was not for the food banks, we would not eat.
That's why she was devastated to see the church on fire a few months ago.
Fire trucks were pulling up. I didn't even realize it until I saw the flames. I was arriving about the same time that they were, just happened to be driving by. This is very, very scary, very sad.
Father God, thank you for today.
A big step for the church members, getting to serve the community with food and clothing once again.
You know, it's in different spaces and everything, so it's everybody getting used to that, but we're starting to get kind of back to normal.
They're in a small space right next to the damaged church, but just like their t-shirts say, out of the ashes, they rise.
I don't know how they do it. Their spirit is just unbelievable. They really come together to help us out. They know that we don't eat if they're not here helping us.
Thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
The pantry is open on Tuesdays from 1 to 3 and again from 7 to 8:15 at night. Reporting live in Tulsa, Lorraine Calendar, Two Works for You.
The Gathering Place is teaming up with Hard Rock Hotel and Casino for an extreme wine tasting experience. Take a look at this. The Beer and Wine Festival is Saturday, November 2nd. The event will start with a brunch at the Boathouse benefiting the Rotary Club. Then there will be wine, beer, and food tasting throughout the park.
As you travel from rim to rim throughout the park, there will be music entertainment, stringed instruments playing along the way, non-stop entertainment, really on the music side. And of course, we had to bring in a pretty cool twist with exotic cars blended in.
Now you're talking. This is my kind of an event. Tickets to the Beer and Wine Festival are on sale. Right now, they're going to cost you $50.
And good to know that that's going to be happening in November when it's finally cooled off a little bit, right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, what kind of car would you suggest with this weather? Maybe we get weather in a car.
Weather in a car. I love that.
You know, the wine and food, whatever. But
Yeah.
what kind of car would you suggest? Convertible?
Right now for
Right now,
today?
yeah, for today's
Oh,
heat.
you need a hardtop with a good AC.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I wish I had one.
Right. That's a whole different story. Meanwhile, we are tracking a tropical storm down in the Gulf of Mexico, and this continues, Imelda continues to track to the north, and it really briefly became a tropical storm. They named it, and then it made landfall, and as tropical disturbances like this make landfall, they weaken once they go overland, and that trend's going to continue as this tracks to the north into eastern Oklahoma. So let's track it together as we look at our future track radar. This is right now or later on this evening, and we're going to push this into the future. And this is by 1 o'clock on Friday. You can see moisture moving in, the chance for rain increasing, and with rain likely on Friday, that will help keep temperatures lower in the 80s for highs for Friday. And that rain chance will continue on into Friday evening, and then off and on Friday night into Saturday morning, there will still be a chance for some showers and storms in the area. I think by Saturday afternoon, that rain chance lifts to the north as the remnants of Imelda continue to move away from the area. But then the front will try to move closer to our area by Sunday, increasing our chances for rain once again. So as we look at our rainfall forecast, really increasing as we head towards Friday midday through Friday afternoon into the evening hours. And then that rain chance continues on into the weekend as well as we see the next 7 days. High chance on Friday, diminishing some on Saturday. Another good chance as we head towards Sunday afternoon and evening, where again it could be wet for a couple of days here in eastern Oklahoma. I don't think it's going to rain all day, every day, but hit or miss storms likely those 3 days. Temperatures the next 7 days